Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squad for boxing news and views from around the internet. Heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz Jr. Try that on for size. Got a nice ring to it. Obviously, it was something he was expecting. Many fans were not. He is now the unified heavyweight champion. And of course, boxers, including himself, Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and others have been reacting to this upset win. Ruiz Jr. shocking the world and becoming the heavyweight world champion. So on his social media, you can see here on screen, Mexican heavyweight champion. Also, he's pictured here with all four belts. If this will actually load up, come on. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrificed, hustled, paid the price, want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Okay, Andy Ruiz Jr. there with a bit of a poem there. One of these things where Ruiz Jr., it's probably sinking in for him too. He's been talking of this. It was something that he was working towards all his life, as he says, grinding all his life. And now he's there. He'd come into that fight with Joshua saying he was going to beat Joshua and especially take that WBO title, which he felt he was robbed of against Joseph Parker back in 2016. Very close fight then. He didn't get the decision. He didn't need a decision in this fight. Knocks out Anthony Joshua, which I think many fans are still reeling from. It was only a number of hours ago, and what time it happened here. It was like mid-afternoon that the fight was. So I haven't slept on this and that. I did my live stream straight after my post-fight video. Went live for about an hour and 45 minutes, responding to questions and messages, as well as general thoughts on the fight. So for a broader take on all that, go watch that live stream. Fill your boots. But in terms of Anthony Joshua, I hadn't seen the post-fight interviews, and he did confirm he is going to have a rematch and exercise that option with Andy Ruiz Jr. So we are going to see the rematch. That will be next for Anthony Joshua. What that means for any of the belts in terms of mandatory obligations, unclear as yet. There has been some speculation that maybe the IBF, potentially that may be stripped from Ruiz if he rematches Joshua and a mandatory challenge isn't done, but that's just speculation at this point. You can see here on screen Joshua with Ruiz in the ring right afterwards saying, "This is Andy's night." This is from Joshua's social media. "This is Andy's night. Congratulations, champ," and the Mexican flag. And in the post-fight interview, which is summarized in this article in Sky Sports here, "I train hard, I stay dedicated and just got beat by a good fighter tonight. This is all part of the story and the journey. Fire at heart, boxer by trade, but look, he done well." And that came after he was asked, well, did you or should you have traded with him after knocking him down? Because obviously pivotal moment in the fight, Joshua hurt and never really recovered. But he's saying fire at heart, boxer by trade, indicating, it's one of those things. Joshua's made no secret he likes to have a bit of a tear up, but clearly in this instance it's kind of backfired, and Ruiz getting on top, staying on top and beating him. He done what he had to do. Everyone has come out for a good night of boxing. It's got you people talking, so more life to the heavyweight division. And yeah, certainly it has kept it interesting. But what we will do is move on to some other fighters, and first and foremost, let's go to Deontay Wilder, who's left a very bitter message on social media, declaring that Anthony Joshua wasn't a true champion. He says he wasn't a true champion. His whole career was consisted of lies, contradictions and gifts, facts, and now we know who was running from who. Hashtag till this day. And then he goes on to say, you can see here on the right hand side, the worst thing you can do in life is effing quit. And there has been a bit of comment from fans about the ending in that fight. Did Joshua quit? Did he not want to be in there? He wasn't following the referee's instruction and the referee waved it off. That was after the fourth knockdown. The stoppage, it was a little soft. I don't think it was premature. He needed to follow the instruction. And I'm sure fans will debate about, did he actually quit or not? I thought he was trying to bide for extra time. But it's in the books now. Andy Ruiz Jr. with the win. But Wilder's statement, it is coming off as very bitter. And some of that Maybe because he knows that this whole undisputed fight, which in recent months he's been very open about that he wasn't going to take it until 2020 when he could make the most money. And some of that will be going up in smoke now. If Joshua and Wilder ever fight, the value in the fight is, it's gone down. Joshua, his loss is also a loss for Wilder because Wilder's been building to that big fight. People can have all the arguments about who was responsible for the first time that negotiations fell down between April and June of 2018. And there's been a whole bun fight for a whole year about that. But in 2019, Wilder made it very clear he wasn't interested in the fight. He had his own thing going on and that he could fight Joshua next year. So to me, this smacks of a lot of bitterness from Deontay Wilder, saying he wasn't a true champion, that his career was consisted of lies, contradictions and gifts. And I'm sure there's a number of boxing fans, and I don't just mean Anthony Joshua's fans, but other boxing fans who, some of these sort of statements from Wilder, they're very cheap and crass. And, this is some of the sort of stuff that makes people not like the guy because he does have all these personas and come off a certain way. So, you can make of it what you will with his statements. I think it's a very bitter statement and actually not becoming of a champion. And what is becoming of a champion is Tyson Fury's statement on Twitter. We have our back and forth, but Anthony Joshua changed his stars through life. Heavyweight boxing, these things happen, rest up, recover, regroup, and come again. And that is the sort of statement that resonates with boxing fans. What is it? 58,000 likes here, 59,000, 14,000 retweets. Deontay Wilder may be a bit bitter towards Anthony Joshua about what's happened, and he's blaming Joshua. And even though he said he wasn't fighting Joshua to 2020, he made that very clear that it's Joshua that held up the fight this year. It's a contradiction in itself. But Jarrell Miller, perhaps interesting, the reaction that many people have been asking about, and I'm playing this here because when I've got it recording, the sound won't actually play, but I'll play it because he didn't talk in this video. Jarrell Big Pharmacy Miller, who failed 3 doping tests in the lead up to what would have been his fight with Joshua on June 1st, which Andy Ruiz took and obviously was successful, clearly ruining his missed opportunity. What an absolute bellend. Look at him. He knows. Look at him. Look at him. It was the opportunity slipped through his fingers through his own sheer idiotic behavior. Look at it. You can just see it. And, that was the whole thing. It goes for about a minute. Yeah, Jarrell Miller. What an absolute bellend. But one of those things that on social media right now, it's going crazy. It really is. Andy Ruiz Jr. has done something quite incredible. Not many people saw this coming. And those who did sort of say Ruiz was going to go in there, do the job, knock out Joshua, were largely laughed off. I didn't see Ruiz Jr. winning this fight. He proved me and millions of others wrong. And that's not because I didn't think he was a good fighter. Clearly he is. I said in the lead up to this fight, he's a very good fighter, but we don't know how good he is, and can he overcome the natural advantages that Joshua had, but also was he able to actually get the job done? Prove me wrong, prove many others wrong. Incredible story. And the whole thing with 2 things, I guess. Snickers, you'd have to imagine they'd be wanting to jump on the Andy Ruiz train at the moment and potentially pick him up. He's been pushing Snickers, as in the chocolate bar, for months now. So maybe they will be interested in now in giving him a sponsorship. But I guess the other thing as well is this whole situation with Ruiz and the way that fans were talking about not his ability and not who he is as a person, but his actual physique, that he wasn't someone that could win a heavyweight title, that he wasn't someone who could go in there and knock out an Anthony Joshua, who's like sculpted from marble, as people say. I mean, this picture sort of sums it up. Ruiz Jr., not the picture of the body beautiful. Anthony Joshua, much better conditioned physically in terms of the way he looks, muscles galore, but, muscles don't necessarily win fights, and Ruiz Jr. has overcome the odds here and proved that, you can achieve things in life, even if you are bigger or whatever. Don't judge a book by its cover. That's one of the tales to come out of this. And I think Ruiz Jr., for many people, will be seen as an inspiration from what he's done. And, you know, I've got to tip my hat to Ruiz Jr. for his belief in himself, following through on his game plan, and, you know, shunning what people would say about him, and basically saying, I am who I am. You can either accept me or, you know, go to hell. And he's done it. He's become the unified heavyweight champion of the world. It's not to say that he can't be beaten, he won't be beaten in the rematch, because that remains to be seen what will happen. But a rematch will happen, and it's going to be one of the most anticipated fights of the rest of 2019. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.